Ooh.
Wow.
I'm like, I see
cool
SoulKey without his glasses
Wolf.
all the time. But you guys will never see. 4-2 versus Zerg, 4-1, and his most recent 5 matches. His record is 11-6, which you might look at that and go, well, that's a great record, but it's not as good as I might expect. It's because he hit Shine a few times. And
It's actually so true.
SoulKey has a 0%.
Shine.
Yeah,
Well,
he has a 0% record in Zerg versus Shine.
Well, actually, like, I believe in Code S, he 2-0'd Shine. So he got some revenge finally, and that was recently too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just mean in Pro League only. But
Oh, in Pro League for sure.
Well, it definitely looks like he's been practicing his early game Zerg. That's for sure. You know, dealing with what Shine is throwing at him, it's hard. And I was gonna say, you know, if you're ByuL in a situation, you saw those early games between Shine and SoulKey, and there was actually a stat I think that SoulKey was 0-8 against Shine. I think you look at those games and you pick one of Shine's build, like you go 10 pool baneling or something. You just go aggressive against SoulKey. I think that's what he has to do. I would not be surprised if he did.
I just looked at Group G, by the way, and even though SoulKey did go 2-0 in the group, he did not play against Shine. He was able to somehow avoid him 100%.
Oh, really?
Did not even play him once. Like, what a lucky thing for SoulKey.
Curse continues.
All right, SoulKey versus ByuL, though, totally different matchup, and we're going on Frost.
LTA는 SK텔레콤.
Down here in the bottom right, in the red for SK Telecom, it's SoulKey.
Just got the key to Moonglade's soul. That's what it's all about. Down here at the bottom left with a pause.
Uh-oh.
It's ByuL, and oh no. That look on his face, I think, is a hotkey problem.
Uh-oh.
Honestly,
he also typed PPP, which I think is actually not the correct way to do. You have to do PP, right?
No, I think it is PPP,
Is it?
actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is.
I think it is triple P, yeah.
I could have sworn I saw like a ton of...
You gotta say please twice if you want to make them happy.
Please pause, please.
Pretty please.
Please. I think it's please pause, please.
I don't know. I'd go with the pause, pretty please.
Pretty please pause.
Yeah, that could work too.
Press pause, please.
Oh, yeah, that actually makes more sense.
Press pause, I guess.
Please press pause. Pause, pause, pause.
Yeah, I think that's
panic mode.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So this could actually cause a problem. Now, actually, as a pro player, Moonglade, don't you think that, in your humble opinion, that in the early game, if you had like a minor hotkey issue, you could actually just set the hotkeys up yourself, like without pausing the game?
I guess it depends on how many hotkeys you've changed.
Yeah.
Like, that's like the one thing I'd think of. And I mean, at the same time, you don't want to be like fiddling around in the menus when you're playing like one of the most stressful games of your career.
No, sure. But it's like, I wonder like if that ever goes through a pro gamer's head, like, oh God, like, you know, we're going to lose a point, we're going to get a warning, like, should I actually risk this and just open the menu F10 right now and go in the hotkeys section, see if I can do this while I'm playing the game?
I'm sure someone has done that before. Like,
well, you know, there might even be a rule about opening the menu.
Actually, that's something else I was going to mention. Like, could be entirely possible because they have monitors on the monitors. Like there's somebody watching your screen like at all times. It's actually like on the bottom of the booth as well. Everyone can see your first-person view. So like, maybe there's a rule against opening the menus in any way. It's entirely possible. In fact, highly likely.
It could very well be that, for sure. Like, we're not entirely sure what the rules are.
Well, there's a lot of Kesper rules, so like there's probably rules that we've like never even heard of. But the game is resumed now. Everything is fine, he says. I'm going to ask, actually, the producer just to give me a heads up on exactly what happened. But I would expect...
And find out the punishment, too. How many points did he lose? I mean...
Probably just a warning since it's the first infringement. Unless somebody typed GG in Hangul, which didn't happen earlier, so no, yeah. I think, and also, like, IM didn't lose the first match, so. Feeling it's just a hotkey issue with a warning.
Okay.
That's most likely going to be the case.
Well, that's not too bad, then.
And I want to mention, as we do have this stat down there in the bottom right, SKT, I think this is their worst match with 4-9, or their worst map. Rather, 4-9. IM is 10-4. Actually, which is pretty impressive.
That is actually pretty impressive,
considering they haven't even made playoffs in any of the rounds so far. So
yeah, Maybe they had ByuL playing at this map all the time, which would also say a lot, considering ByuL is the one that wins the most for IM.
I would actually like to go back and see like who usually plays on Frost, because I know ByuL is like the Sejong Station guy normally, but he must have played on this map as well.
Yeah, no doubt. We see a safety pool from ByuL, 15 pool, and we see a hatch first from SoulKey, so not afraid of any sort of 10 pool paneling or anything like that. Going to stay true to it, stay true to the macro, go for the hatch first.
Yeah. And I'm actually impressed that ByuL is not going cheesy here. He's going to even play safe against SoulKey.
Yeah, and I mean, SoulKey going in for a 16 gas too, so he's going for the super greedy gas build, so it's even worse against 10 pool paneling. So he's not afraid of nothing. Playing that straight up macro game.
Yeah.
Going for the very fast speedlings. And we see a gasless so far from ByuL, so it could be going into kind of like the 2-base gasless into roaches with a delayed 3rd base. And it's going to be up to SoulKey to scout it.
Now, Moonglade, are you a player who likes or dislikes to play Zerg versus Zerg? Because I know there's a lot of opinions about that, like some really strong ones.
I've always gone through phases where I like it and I hate it, because like sometimes it's like fun. It's like I don't mind mass Roach, like I don't mind Roach versus Roach. But when it was like Muta versus Muta, I kind of disliked it a lot. But at the moment, I kind of like it a lot. I kind of like the gasless sort of stuff, and it depends on the map and positioning. But like like mass Roaches can be a lot of fun. But you can kind of it really depends on the early game. And we see like a lot of Zerglings here from ByuL, so looking to do a bit of harassment, but I'm not sure. I don't think... Well, we see 4 Zerglings from SoulKey, so he sees something coming, so he should be ready for it.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of
got
harassment.
The 2 queens coming out as well.
He needs to pull those drones away, though.
Yeah. This could be a bit of damage.
I don't think he's going to lose too much here, but it looks like he's going to lose at least 1 drone. A good micro so far. Tries to block with his links and pull away. And it's going to be really hard to target those drones down individually. He does get 1. Nicely done here by ByuL. And now coming back to the net. Yeah, the queens should be fine here. Great positioning here. It doesn't save the drone, but he's not going to lose that queen. And a solid defense by SoulKey here.
Yeah, just a bit of harassment. Very solid defense. I think he was never too worried about it, but it's kind of like just avoiding any sort of drone damage, because behind this ByuL was no doubt going to be droning, and which he has. So they're kind of unequal drones right now.
So I did get confirmation, by the way, going back to the very, very beginning stage of this game, that it was just a hotkey problem, and he receives a warning.
Yeah.
So not important unless something like this comes up for IM later.
Yeah, and gotta hope that they don't, you know, type out GG and Hangul. King has done twice.
Yeah, they're going to be really careful with these hockeys. We actually see a lot of hockey problems, a lot of hockey pauses. Yep. Should not happen.
Speed comes
over
out
here, yeah, and that's actually a lot of Zerglings. They actually juke and jive right into the main base, and you know, he may be able to. Nope, not going to be able to assassinate that queen, because notice that ByuL deftly pockets that queen right in between the minerals there for a second. A lot of players actually do not do this. It's the best way to make sure you don't lose your queen to a run by is just instantly pull it away.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
removing all the surface area from the queen, definitely really important against Zerglings.
Yeah, he just can't get it. I mean, he's not actually able to really get anything done here. Good scouting information.
Oh, actually very valuable scouting information. Seeing that 1 gas on the natural and seeing the Zergling speed being upgraded, he knows that there will be some pressure later on if he decides to take a fast third. So it's very, very valuable. Not going to be straight into roaches or anything like that for ByuL. So SoulKey definitely getting really ahead. Really great juking and jiving with the Zerglings. Going to try and keep them alive as long as possible. I mean, it's a long way off Zergling speed for ByuL. So he can just do this forever, essentially.
Yeah, and this is so annoying for ByuL. It really taxes his multitasking. He's trying to, you know, drone up, trying to get his injects, and he still has to run around his base after speed Zerglings and just try to get rid of them one by one.
If he makes like 1 mistake with a queen and the queen gets like out of position, he might lose it. Or if he's not, if he stops chasing for a second, like maybe he loses a drone. Killing all of these lings without losing anything is like one good thing for him, right? If you think about it in a numbers-wise sense, but I think it's still worth it to get the information.
It's still a good thing, for sure. But I mean, while this was all happening, like SoulKey was just droning up, so he's fully saturated on both bases with 3 gases, taking a 3rd base now.
Yeah, he starts 26 lings, and that's going to help him easily secure that 3rd base. And he might even put on some heavy pressure counter-wise on ByuL's 3rd base to try to maybe force a cancel on that.
Yeah, well, yeah, ByuL's definitely going to try and cancel SoulKey's 3rd, but as we saw, a lot of Zerglings coming out for SoulKey, so he's going to deal with this pretty quickly and probably do a massive counterattack on the 3rd of ByuL.
Yep, and nice shutdown here on that harassment. Now SoulKey is going to be able to counterattack here. He has enough units, and ByuL can't really try to sneak around. He doesn't have the Ling count to do that.
Roach is coming out now for ByuL.
Yeah, that might be enough to help him defend his base, but again, a good trade here with these Lings. I don't know if he can actually fight on this ramp, though. I'd say probably not.
Yeah, has to be pretty careful. More Zerglings come to reinforce, but with these Roaches coming in, it's not going to be enough, and SoulKey's really going to have to transition into Ridges himself and droning that third base.
Yeah, that's a big thing for him. He needs to start making those Roaches as well. He has to catch up to the count of ByuL. Does have a lot of these Zerglings, which can be decent in fights, but you definitely want the bulk of your army to be the Roaches.
Oh yeah, I mean, the moment +1 for Roaches comes out, +1 attack, like Zerglings are just a non-issue. They get 2-shot just like Zealots would, and yeah, they're just completely useless from that point onwards. So Roaches are coming out for SoulKey, and he's droning up behind this, so still applying pressure with these Zerglings, and yeah, he's in a pretty good position right now.
Yeah. Well, let's see how ByuL decides to kind of respond from here. And the worker count is relatively similar between these two. Obviously, a little bit of a lead here for SoulKey. The third base is up for both. I would give an edge to SoulKey right now, but it's not like it's unrecoverable. The next few moments, the next few decisions in Roach versus Roach fights are going to decide everything. The player who gets ahead, when does he decide to attack? Does his attack work efficiently? Does he turn around at the right time with his Roaches because of that defender's advantage? You know, how does the Ling count come into play here for SoulKey, because he has that tool in his toolbox as well?
Is there going to be lingering run by? How good is the concave versus the convex of whoever's attacking into who? Like, there's so many factors that go into Roach versus Roach that you don't really think about. But it's really going to come down to more than anything else where they fight and how they fight, and what kind of run-bys are going to happen. Are we going to see borrowed Roaches? Are they going to catch one player off guard that's going to destroy their economy? Right now, both players playing very defensive, getting their kind of like giant Roach balls up, and kind of just preparing for that big fight. Getting that +2 and +1 carapace pretty much at the same time, so it's really ended up being a huge mirror match.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, SoulKey was able to squeak out a couple more drones there, which makes his third base a little bit better saturated there. But, you know, overall, just very, very equal here. We see SoulKey trying to make something happen with his extra Zerglings that he has with the run by, but ByuL was on top of that right away. He had so many Roaches right in position for that. He has those Overlords over there scouting that as well. I don't think that's going to do any damage, so that's one good thing ByuL has going for him. Just defending those attacks so far.
Oh, really nice Contaminate onto the +2 attack of ByuL. That actually could really open up a great timing for SoulKey.
Yeah, he's going to be way ahead with that +2. He's also got his +1 armor coming up to line up with that pretty soon as well. And I don't know, man. He's got those Zerglings for buffering as well. SoulKey's got that army advantage. If he could just take a good position, then he's going to be able to trade well, undoubtedly, in the next fight. See, burrow movement is being researched right now for ByuL, so it's going to give him a little bit of a tech advantage, a little bit of more harassment potential. But it's not going to be too useful in a fight.
That's true. And I mean, their positions, like, they're right next to each other, so it's a lot harder to kind of do these burrowed Roach harassments at the moment anyway, as both Roach balls are kind of just posturing up. They know where each other are exactly. They know that there's no Roach burrow upgraded.
Oh my god.
Ooh, see the fourth go up finally.
Oh, he just got that with 1 second left. Oh my god.
Yeah, the progress bar like says it's full.
Wow. It's actually done.
Yeah, that's like
that's so frustrating.
He's actually just gonna fight, and he knows that the +2 is gonna finish as soon as the Contaminate wears off. And they're engaging here, and Lings are trying to run by. Better reinforcements obviously here for ByuL, but I feel like the Concave is favoring SoulKey up here at the top side. And he's eventually being pushed back. +2. Still not finished. It's still being contaminated right now.
Oh, wow. That is huge.
During that entire fight, he found some time to contaminate it a second time, which is so gigantic.
I have a question for you. This is almost like a TLO question. Does Contaminate stack? Like, could you just cast it even if it's already contaminated?
Yeah. I mean, but it won't actually stack. It'll just reset the timer.
Okay, yeah. That's what I mean, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, during that fight, too, we had SoulKey kind of reposition his Roaches at the concave at the top, which really gave him an advantage because ByuL never pulled his Roaches back, so they kept going in and in and into the convex, and eventually it was a really good trade for SoulKey, but he did eventually get fought off. But another good thing is that all those Zerglings perished. Like, they did a good run by, they created a lot of pressure in the main, And now he's repopulated his army with just roaches. So he should have a much better roach count this fight.
And that's, I think, part of why you see that bank differential. It's about 900 minerals different between these two. He had to make those roaches.
Look at this, an Overseer following these 4 burrowed roaches.
Busted.
No secret
There's even
here.
some burrowed zerglings down there. I don't know if you guys saw that by ByuL.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Hiding. Overseer's
Just
like, look at
chilling.
that Overseer, like, close his eyes, like, ah. He's like, I have to babysit these roaches.
And more
He even
roaches
got the
added.
Overlord speed, so these are not going to get away ever.
Oh, yeah.
Like, SoulKey is on top of this.
They even has, like, a second Overseer just in case somehow they get away.
They both have so many.
Oh.
SoulKey with 7 and ByuL now with 6.
It's so important to have as many, like, every area kind of, like, scouted out. Because you do not want to let any through, because all it takes is 3 roaches to one-shot a drone. So the amount of damage 3 roaches can do is just ridiculous. And it puts you so out of position. Like, it's all, pretty much the name of the game now is trying to get each other out of position with these burrowed roaches so your main army can come in and crush from a great position.
Oh, this is really cool. He's going to come over here. This hatch is at high health. But you might actually be able to force it down. You'd have to trade his roaches, maybe?
Yeah, he's definitely killing it, but at what cost?
Yeah, actually, let's see. Like, he only loses, like, 2 roaches, maybe?
Maybe 3. It looks like just 2.
Yeah.
Really well played.
That was a nice little attack there. That's really important because his own 4th is going up meanwhile.
Oh, but we see a huge engagement.
Oh, yeah, he's actually going to take a really good concave here. SoulKey, that is. And with more reinforcements, he is going to crush this army. ByuL needs to turn around. And this is going to help, neutralize that bank advantage that ByuL had earlier. Now we're going to lose a fight over here, and that 4th base is still up right now for SoulKey. His Carapace upgrade is ahead because he was able to contaminate his opponents, and also he's about to have Hive, so may even be able to start +3 attacks soon.
Oh, that's actually going to make a huge difference too. And yeah, I mean, this 4th base has been up for so long for SoulKey, and ByuL's is still building because of that destroy earlier. It was really well played, but this is another great harassment strategy. Putting it on top of the hill of that 4th base definitely puts roaches in range to kill the drones. So you always got to babysit that base.
Yeah. It's something you're always going to be really careful about. Now, Infestation Pit only now started for ByuL, so in the situation for tech and upgrades, he's going to be behind for such a long time. And I don't know if he realizes this, but if he does see the Hive, he'll want to contaminate. Now, hold that thought, because we're going to have another big engagement here. A lot of roaches now in a better position for SoulKey. Knows he has much more units actually firing. The roaches of ByuL there, back and forth, running left and right, not actually participating.
Yeah, and I really wonder what triggered ByuL to do that attack. It looks like because there was the 4th base of ByuL was getting attacked once again. And he must have thought to himself, he truly doesn't have enough roaches, right? So I can just attack his front, but wrong. The concave was perfect from SoulKey, and there was more roaches.
Yeah, and his 4th base goes down again, while the 4th base of SoulKey is totally fine back
Oh,
at home.
he has to cancel it again. And this is only a small group of roaches. 6 roaches. That's how many roaches, maybe even more than that, ByuL had not participating in the fight because of the concave problem. And to attack because of this, I think it was more of a panic response than anything else. Now he needs to make sure he gets a better concave in this engagement. Don't forget, +3/3 are both on the way, whereas just a Hive only now being started for ByuL and a Hydralisk Den. And SoulKey a bit timid here.
It's so funny to watch these 2 players just back off, try to get the better position, and not commit.
Oh yeah,
They're both so scared. They want that position. It's so important in these fights.
Yeah, it's 100%. It's the most important thing about these fights is the concave. And once again, it looks like SoulKey has the better position.
Yeah, he definitely does. It's just that little area below the watchtower, that little nub that sticks up that really makes it hard to attack into this location. And SoulKey is going to take the better engagement here. He has the better bank to remax as well. And with his own Hydralisk Den coming up here, he's just going to trade efficiently over and over again, take these roaches out, keep depleting the bank of his opponent, who doesn't have a 4th base up, mind you. He's remaking that right now, but it's not saturated. Yeah. Double Overseer and Spines over here going to make this an easy hold, I would say.
I feel like once that 3/3 comes into fruition here, it's just going to be lights out. I mean, even now, SoulKey has more roaches, and he's going to fight with them.
Yeah. He's going to fight, and he might be at a bit of a disadvantage considering where the remax is coming from. He's right next to the bases, but
it looks like he just barely has enough to finish this through.
He's production and macro.
He can kill the 4th again now. He could split his roaches into 2 groups to delay this group of roaches while he snipes that 4th.
Well, he just needs to sit on the bottom of the ramp here, and he's got a perfect concave.
Yeah, exactly. He's like controlling the 4th and the ramp at the same time. And this has just been SoulKey showing he's much better at engaging.
This is not the best engagement, but he's going to get the fourth from it, and he can remax on Roaches and Hydras at this point.
Yeah, and 3-3, +3 attack is done, +3 Carapace about to finish.
Yeah, he's in complete control of this game. Delayed it enough, kept taking great concaves, great
The bank
fights.
is gone for ByuL.
Yeah, the bank is gone, the fourth is gone. And he's in terrible position. This is kind of like the last stand at this point. Like, he's got to get something done. He's got to, like, try and break through and kill a base, or he will just lose simply because of the economics of it.
All right, well, both of them regenning a little bit here before what may be our final fight. And +3-3 is done. SoulKey knows it. He clicks on the units. He knows you only have 2-2. I've got 3-3. I will crush you in this fight, destroy everything you have. I have a bag too, so it doesn't even matter if I lose. Doesn't matter the engagement. Oh, a changeling block. Very cool. GG blocks those roaches in there with a changeling. That was pretty sly. That was a sneaky move.
That was so sneaky. Great play from SoulKey, as usual.
And this is why we voted for this guy. He's just way too solid. You guys saw it was so close for so long, but then eventually SoulKey just held on for longer. He was just more solid in many, many different facets of the game, and he showed why he was the favorite.
Well, this is a match that most people expected SoulKey to win. Not just the casters, but also the fans at home. I think this is just a clear fan favorite, which is why we were talking about earlier that life win is so important for IM going into game one, because the rest of the matches are looking pretty SKT-sided. So it hurts to lose ByuL here, but it's only now tied up. They're not like in a really tough spot where they're on their last legs or anything. So definitely recoverable still.
Very recoverable. I mean, the next two matches are just going to be so hard.